Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the TheinsiderDEWclusive. And once again, it's Baja time. And, well, Baja time you thought you could escape from. Baja time you thought would never end. Baja time you thought there would be an interesting conclusion to all this. There is no escaping Baja. There will always be Baja. So, Baja. Everyone loves Baja. But Baja Blast has had a lot of different spin-offs. But this year's has a bit of an interesting twist to it. More than one, to say the least. Believe it or not, Baja has only got one flavor coming out this year outside of restaurants. Let me be clear on that. Outside of restaurants. That's right. So, believe it or not, there is only one non-exclusive Baja flavor that's gonna be out for this year. Baja Cabo Citrus. That's right, we managed to get one. Which, special thanks to our lovely friend Adam, aka Crash's friend, who managed to procure a can. But why is Cabo Citrus very interesting? Well, believe it or not, Cabo Citrus was one of 3 different proposed flavors that were supposedly going to release this year. Now, I thought I'd shake it up this episode and do the knowledge and trivia section right out the gate instead of saving it for like a later segment. But I'm going to try my best to kind of speed through all of this in one take, if I can. So, we're going to start with the trivia. Believe it or not, Cabo Citrus wasn't the only flavor that was supposed to come out this year. There were 2 other flavors. Baja Panama Punch and Baja Citrus Sunshine. Now, Panama Punch has a little more depth to it. See, interestingly enough, there were multiple concept images of Panama Punch that were leaked online from various different big foodie people. You know, like Marky Devo, Teamsupernova, you know, stuff like that. And normally on the TheinsiderDEWclusive, we don't comment on leaked stuff because leaks tend to have a history of either not being true, or they tend to be inaccurate, or, I hate to be honest, but as popular as all of these big foodie, you know, creators are online, things can change at the last minute, at the last second. So until things are completely confirmed officially from a company, we usually typically don't go through the leak history in this. If you want to speculate on leaks and stuff and concepts and supposed ideas, these people are your go-to for that. But here on the TheinsiderDEWclusive, we're not that type of person. So, but the reason why I'm bringing this up is because this kind of counts more as a revision rather than a leak. See, the trademark for both Panama Punch as well as Citrus Sunshine actually existed. Yeah, at one point they actually were a thing, and they were being concepted. They were being pitched, if you will. But what made Panama Punch more interesting was that it was a concept specifically for Taco Bell. See, the flavor was based on the popular cocktail, which is a grapefruit lime cocktail. You know, more based on the Panama flavor. And like Baja Blast's formula, it was designed to taste best with, well, Mexican-inspired food. So think fajitas Think like nachos, think chimichangas, and, well, in this case, think tacos, as it was formulated for the perfect pairing, right? Well, Taco Bell wanted to look for a more suitable new exclusive flavor that would go alongside Baja Blast, especially for their restaurants. This was going to be that drink. However, it, ultimately in the end, the concept was for a limited time drink that was going to be released for about an 8-week run, having both a fountain and a freezy version, but the concept fell through. And instead, Taco Bell announced a different, more unique Baja flavor that's going to be coming out very soon in the future. And trust me, we will be talking about that flavor in a future episode or segment. But I digress. I'm getting off topic. Ironically enough, though, this wasn't the first time that Baja Blast, or rather Mountain Dew, decided to release a companion flavor with their Bajas. As weird as it sounds, Sangria Blast was a flavor that existed for a long time. However, a little bit of trivia, it technically doesn't count as a Baja. It was its own flavor. Yeah. That was actually its own flavor, and it was a citrus punch flavor. But again, we will have a dedicated episode, the Sangria Blast, at some point too. Do not worry. Now, the second concept was going to be Citrus Sunshine. And not much was known about it, other than the fact that there was a trademark filed for the name. But nobody knew anything. None of the speculators, none of the big foodie people like Snackinator, Teamsupernova, Marky Devo, nobody. Not even I. And I keep track of that stuff sometimes too. And as weird as it was, Citrus Sunshine just kind of fell through the cracks. Kinda. Again, normally we don't comment on this stuff, but it is interesting because at the time of this recording, Citrus Sunshine still has an active trademark. Do with that information what you will. But again, until something is officially announced from companies, that ain't our forte. If you want to, speculate different flavors and speculate leaks and speculate concepts and stuff, go follow the other amazing people and all the more successful creators out there across the multiverse. Huh. It feels weird saying that. That's normally a Crash and Haruko thing. I think Jinyu says it at some point too. I don't know. But regardless, if you want a recommendation personally, go follow Teamsupernova. They've been doing absolutely everything to not only bring you the latest Mountain Dew news, but to also make sure that you're caught up to speed on all things Dew. And, just like me, we like to indulge in our drinks. And yes, bring back Supernova. But that's beside the point. Cabo Citrus. That's the thing, though. Cabo Citrus's name actually originates from Cabo San Lucas, a resort city in the southern tip of the Baja California peninsula. Which, that's kind of where the inspiration came from. And Cabo Citrus was actually the second to last flavor set to be released featuring, well, the what was current logo, but now older logo. Yeah, it's set to be released with the old 2017 logo, along with a particular spicy, fruity flavor coming to a pizza joint soon.
Pizza.
Yeah. Again, we will cover that at some point too. Don't you worry, I'm going to be busy for a while. Point is, the new logo finally kicks in after all that. And yes, we'll comment on the new logo at some point too. So, other than that, yeah, a few interesting revisions, other than one other thing. Most Baja flavors throughout the past couple years have only ever released in a full sugar version. And that's it. All of them have had no zero sugar versions, minus the exception of the original Baja Blast and some of the hard Bajas. Again, the alcoholic hard Mountain Dews. But this is the only Baja flavor spinoff to actually have a zero sugar variant. I like to call it like I see it. And I'm going to be honest. If you're listening, Mountain Dew, please do more zero sugars. I think a lot of people would be appreciative if you did, including a certain galactic traveler who may or may not be alien or human or a hybrid of some kind.
Still waiting the phone call for the results.
That's his thing. He's figuring that out. I know what I am. I'm a human, so. But regardless, more zero sugar variants would be quite nice. At least I would like to think so. But there is one other thing before we get into the taste test. PepsiCo partnered up with a cologne slash, I want to say like spritz lotion company, if you will, called Blind Barber. And they launched a Baja Blast and Baja Cabo Citrus themed spray and scent kit, specifically designed for men's grooming. The body spray kit, at the time of this recording, is still currently available to purchase on the Mountain Dew TikTok shop. I can never say that. And can also be found on Blind Barber's website and at their locations. So if you can find a location, or if you can buy it online, do it. Heck, do it. And if we've got the money, if it's still available, we'll probably wind up doing a separate episode or segment or sketch where I try the men's grooming kit. So I would love to. And honestly, if I had the money, I would definitely cover it in this episode. But at the time of this recording, we aren't able to get one right now. Unless Blind Barber or PepsiCo or Mountain Dew wants to hook us up, in which case, absolutely, we'll review it. So, but only time will tell. If we got the money, we'll purchase it ourselves. And there is one other interesting thing that they wound up doing as well. Believe it or not, at the time of this recording, they posted this via Twitter. And no, I'm not calling it X. Couple days ago, or last week if you will, around the 23rd, 24th. You know that random movie ticket you might be, holding on to in your pocket? Or maybe you've got a parking ticket, a train ticket, maybe even a ticket to a concert. Something from this year. Well, if you actually go onto Twitter, aka X, and post on a specific tweet using the hashtag Baja Cabo Citrus Sweepstakes, you have a chance to be entered for a really big prize. You have a chance to win something big. Upgrade that ticket you have in your pocket for a chance for you and 4 of your closest friends to win a trip to Cabo. Oh yeah. That's right. Now obviously you have to be 21 years or older to win, And obviously, the contest ends on 5/5. So at the time of this recording, you have a couple of days. Or the contest could be over by the time this comes out. But if you win, you and 4 guests get to go to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, where the trip consists of round-trip coach air transportation for a winner and their guests, plus, double occupancy accommodations at a nice resort, and $1,000 awarded in the form of a check to the winner. So, pretty nice if I would say so myself. Sounds like a pretty solid getaway. And I would love to go on vacation. Crash would love to go on vacation. And man, bringing some friends and family, that would be fantastic. So, anyhow, that covers the trivia. That covers the merchandise. That covers the giveaway portion. Man, I'm actually doing this all in one take. Normally we break this all up in sketches. But, heck, I'm on a roll. That just means one last thing. We got a taste test to cover. But before we do, did you know that this pairs with a particular snack? Yeah, believe it or not, this pairs pretty well with a very particular snack. It even says so on the can. It's the perfect pairing with Doritos. Oh yeah. Now, why I bring up Doritos? Well, believe it or not, with it, they wound up actually doing something a little more unique. So, with this one, they actually decided to bring back an old Doritos flavor from the 2000s. Yeah. As weird as that is, it used to exist. Doritos Guacamole. Yeah. That existed. That was a thing. It existed originally in the 2000s and then got brought back a handful of times as well, too. And believe it or not, even existed as another exotic flavor. It was all the way in Australia with guacamole and salsa all in one bag. That would have been great to try out for sure. So, but yeah, Doritos guacamole existed a handful of times in the past. And they also used to have a spicy creamy guac dip. I don't know if that still exists, but would be good. In fact, Doritos has played around with the whole guac concept a few times. Even with their collisions concept. With the habanero chip and guac chip. Pretty good if I say so myself. Maybe it's just that popular. But I've never had it. So, I went hunting. And it was the right thing to do. I had to get a bag of Doritos guac. And it even says so on the back of the bag. Doritos. Enjoy this zesty bite of Doritos, chaps, with a refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew for a bold summer pairing. Yeah. It says so on the top of the bag, too. So, that's what I did. I managed to procure the Doritos guac. I managed to procure the Mountain Dew Cabo Citrus. We're not going to waste any time. I'm on a roll. We're doing this all in one shot, one take. We're doing it live. Well, I don't know which one to start with first other than this is Mountain Dew Cabo Citrus in 0 sugar. After I drink this little ice water. And yes, obviously in my Mountain Dew glass. Palate cleanser. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, oh. I hope you got the sound on that. And unlike other Baja flavors in the past where we had to only try a small sip or two, this one gets the full pour. Here, take a listen. Up here. Oh. Now that looks fantastic. That's got a good color to it too, gang. Look at that. That is an excellent color. Oh, man. That's beautiful. What's it smell like, though? Okay. So, a couple things to note before we taste test this. The can design itself makes me think that it's Mountain Dew Baja, right? But with either a tangerine sort of lime or like a orange sort of lime flavor. So it's very interesting to say the least. It is confirmed, however, that based on the information I was sent, that it's a tangerine lime. So might actually be good. Not gonna lie. So, either way, let's get into it. This is Mountain Dew Baja Cabo Citrus. Oh. Yeah. You know what? Huh. Let me try it without the ice real quick. See if there's a difference. Okay. So, I have notes. But, we'll get to those in a moment. Because we also have to try Doritos Guacamole. They smell good. They definitely smell like Doritos, but smells more like a zesty guac rather than like a heavy guac. It's very green. It's very, very green. I don't know if that comes up well on camera, but that's very green. That's really, really green. Let's try it. Yeah, I called it on the zesty guac flavor. Okay. So here are my thoughts. For the Baja Cabo, for Cabo Citrus, Mountain Dew already has lime in it. Because Mountain Dew is essentially a citrusy lemon lime kind of soda. to begin with. So it's not bad at all. Dare I say it's a good flavor. Like, it's solid. But I think what they did, at least with this one, was they cranked up the lime and took out the lemon. Because here's the thing. I don't taste any lemon at all in this one, which is fine. I like something a little different. I like something that's going to present itself a little more. And sometimes all you really need to do, pun intended, yes, I've said do a lot this episode, is just swap out one ingredient for the other. And that works. Tangerine is a very unique flavor because tangerine can be a little sweet, it can be a little bitter, it can be a smidge sour depending on your taste buds. But essentially what they did with this was they took out the lemon and just swapped the lemon with tangerine and just kind of called it a day. But still gave it that sort of Baja tropical taste to it, like a hint of it. And it's good. I like this flavor. I like it quite a bit. Now, is it my favorite Baja flavor of all time? It's up there. It's definitely now going up in like probably my top 3. And the fact that there's like almost a top 10 of different Baja flavors to me is wild at this point. Maybe that's something I should do at some point. Top 10 Bajas. If that's all possible. That would make for a good video. Regardless, it's not bad. It's a solid flavor. I like the taste of the tangerine. It's very prominent. And the lime has sort of a double dose kick to it, which is nice, but I don't taste the lemon, so that kind of, I don't taste that full Mountain Dew experience with it. That's my only problem. There's probably a lemon in it somewhere, and I'm probably just weird, but like, overall, I would say it's a solid flavor. Now, the Doritos guac, however, that's a zesty guac. That is a very, like, how do I say this? It's not your normal guac. It's not the guac that you would get typically from, like, the grocery store. It's not the guac that you would go to, like, Target or Walmart and, like, oh, you're buying that creamy, smooth, frou-frou, made from, like, organic GMO, you know, bullshit. It's like zesty, lime, you know, little salty, like, made from scratch guac. That really good guac. Not the guac that you would get from, like, you know, like a Whole Foods or like a specialty like store, but the guac you probably get, you know, from restaurants. Again, like Qdoba or Taco Bell or Chipotle. Yes, I'm saying it wrong on purpose. I personally think Chipotle is mid, but that's a story for another day. Point is, it's not bad. I like zesty guac. It's a very welcoming, different type of flavor. It is a guac that I am not used to, though, because most guac that I've had here in this universe is very one note. I'm used to guac that has, like, a bit of a punch to it. And this is nice. I like this. So, good job, Doritos. And you know what? Good job as well, too, Mountain Dew. This was a good flavor. I like this quite a bit. I'm pleasantly surprised. So, wow. How wild. Huh. I did this all in one take. It usually never happens, and usually the way we format this is all broken up into segments, but I'm not going to complain. I don't know. Do you guys like these sort of one-take sort of episodes? Let me know. Do you like the segment format better, where everything's broken up into, like, chapters and sketches and bits? Do you like the comedy-focused stuff? Or do you like just a straight, honest to the point, like, you know, one take, one shot review of everything? You know, I try and make sure to include all the history and stuff as much as possible, too. So, but, yeah, no. I approve. I kind of wish this released, though, a little bit closer to the actual summer, instead of, like, the tail mid to end part of spring, if that makes sense. Like, April's kind of a weird time to release this, but, I mean, May, June, July is definitely summertime. August even, kinda, but August is more kind of like fall. So, but I like it. So, with that in mind, that about does it for this edition of the TheinsiderDEWclusive. If I manage to get the Blind Barber kit, I will go and review all that and, you know, check out the Blind Barber stuff another day, you know, in a separate video, a separate thing online. Again, Mountain Dew, PepsiCo, Blind Barber, if you guys want to reach out to us and maybe do something, that would be amazing. Hit us up on socials or email at crashsmash01content@gmail.com. Just saying, we're just a message away. But that about does it. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And more exciting Dew ventures to come. You know, I just realized too, kind of a weird note to end it on, but all this time I've been covering Baja Blast, not once have I made that King of the Hill Baja meme joke. I mean, I guess mentioning it kind of counts, but I don't know. Weird. I don't know, maybe Crash will edit it in somewhere. Be funny. Alright, that does it. Later, guys.